The net result is that most workers never get ahead. They do what they've been taught to do, get a secure job. Most workers focus on working for pay and benefits that reward them in the short term, but are often disastrous in the long run. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all having a great day. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is what we are reading today. I'm very excited. I am actually going to be teaching some Rich Dad, Poor Dad thing to some young girls that whose mother is actually in my cash flow club. So that is very exciting. It's been keeping me quite busy, but this is just how it goes sometimes. But I'm excited to still do some reading for you. Let's get into it. We are in chapter 6. And we are starting with a very interesting sentence. The net result is that most workers never get ahead. They do what they've been taught to do, get a secure job. Most workers focus on working for pay and benefits that reward them in the short term, but are often disastrous in the long run. And today I'm looking forward to teaching these girls that that is not the only way to do things. Okay, let's get into it and get you motivated and ready for a great day with great financial results. Instead, I recommend to young people to seek work for what they will learn more than what they will earn. Look down the road at what skills they want to acquire before choosing a specific profession and before getting trapped in the rat race. And that is very, very important because very often we will work and we will get to a point where we have a car and a house and all of these big things. And then it becomes extremely difficult to escape the rat race because we have gotten used to and we need to pay for things that match our income. When we are younger, we live a much more modest life with 2-minute noodles and all of those kinds of things. No car, no house. We're renting. And so we have a lot more flexibility to be able to pivot and change and move very quickly. So it's very important to be able to set yourself up financially so that you're not trapped in that rat race. Because very often people get trapped because they set themselves up. And society pushes us in that direction. So we get trapped because we've been put into that trap. So the quicker you can learn all of this information that Robert Kiyosaki is talking about, the sooner and the easier it is for you to be able to escape. But that doesn't mean that if you are already trapped that you can't escape. It just means that you need to maybe work a little bit harder to be able to escape. Once people are trapped in the lifelong process of bill paying, they become like those little hamsters running around in those metal wheels. Their little furry legs are spinning furiously. The wheel is turning furiously. But come tomorrow morning, they'll still be in the same cage. Great job. In the movie Jerry Maguire, starring Tom Cruise, there are many great one-liners. Probably the most memorable is, "Show me the money!" But there is one line I thought most truthful. It comes from the scene where Tom Cruise is leaving the firm. He has just been fired, and he is asking the entire company, "Who wants to come with me?" And the whole place is silent and frozen. I actually just watched this movie a few days ago. Only one woman speaks up and says, "I'd like to, but I'm due for a promotion in 3 months." So she doesn't want to leave. She's going to stick around for another 3 months. That statement is probably the most truthful statement in the whole movie. It is the type of statement that people use to keep themselves busy, working away to pay bills. I know and companies will actually do this. They will give you these bonuses and things to look forward to so that you stay. They will keep baiting you and seeding you with all of these different things that will help you to stay because they don't want to lose you. Yes, you're very replaceable. They can get rid of you very, very easily if they want to, but they also want to keep you for as long as possible. So they get the best of both worlds. I know my educated dad looked forward to his pay rise every year, and every year he was disappointed. So he would go back to school to earn more qualifications so he could get another raise. Then once again, there would be another disappointment. The question I often ask people is, where is this daily activity taking you? Just like the little hamster, I wonder if people look at where their hard work is taking them. What does the future hold? In his book, The Retirement Myth, Craig S. Carpel writes, I visited the headquarters of a major national pension consulting firm and met with a managing director who specializes in designing lush retirement plans for top management. When I asked her what people who don't have corner offices will be able to expect in the way of pension income, she said with a confident smile, the silver bullet. What, I asked, is the silver bullet? She shrugged and said, if baby boomers discover that they don't have enough money to live on when they're older, they can always blow their brains out. That is a pretty picture. Let's not think about that too long. Carpel goes on to explain the difference between the old defined benefit retirement plans and the new 401k plans that are riskier, similar to Super in Australia. It is not a pretty picture for most people working today, and that is just for retirement. Add medical fees and long-term nursing home care, and the picture is frightening. Now in America, it's already a lot worse because they have exorbitant medical fees, and it's difficult for people to get into healthcare, and they have a very interesting system. In Australia, thankfully, it is still sane. However, we are starting to slowly head in that direction, just like we did with litigation in the 1990s. So keep an eye on that and beware of that, because things here might change to an Americanized system with regards to healthcare as well. Already, many hospitals in countries with socialized medicine need to make tough decisions, such as who will live and who will die, and you do not want to be at the end of that question. They make those decisions purely on how much money they have and how old the patients are. If the patient is old, they will often give the medical care to someone younger. The older poor patient gets put to the back of the line. Just as the rich can afford better education, the rich will be able to keep themselves alive, while those who have little wealth will die. And so there is a real life consequence to whether or not you decide to make changes in your life with regards to your financial situation. So I wonder, are workers looking into the future or just until their next paycheck, never questioning where they are headed? When I speak to adults who want to earn more money, I always recommend the same thing. I suggest taking a long view of their life. Instead of simply working for the money and security, which I admit are important, I suggest they take a second job that will teach them a second skill. Often, I recommend joining a network marketing company, also called multi-level marketing, if they want to learn sales skills. Some of these companies have excellent training programs that help people get over their fear of failure and rejection, which are the main reasons people are unsuccessful. And I think it's about 50-50. I've been in a few, and some have great training programs, and some are training programs that are created by the people who have only recently joined, and they don't really know much about sales. So make sure that you find out and make sure that they do actually have a really good training program. Because yes, it can be hit and miss with regards to that training program, but you can also get training on sales in other places without going into network marketing. So make sure that it's the right thing for you. And there are many different ways of achieving the same thing. Again, something that I'm going to be teaching in my course today, which is very exciting. And I'm very happy that the girls that I'm going to be teaching today are 13 and 16, so still young enough to be able to absorb the information and implement it before they're in the rat race. So I'm very excited for their futures. But that doesn't mean that if you are not 13 and 16, that you can't also make changes in your life. It is never too late. And very quick side note, I used to know somebody who was training somebody in the stock market, and the man was 73 years old and he was starting to learn about the stock market. 10 years later, at the age of 83, he was making a 5-year plan. He was going on skiing holidays, and he still had vibrance in health. He still had vibrance in his mind, and he still had plans and was doing things. And he had turned around his life from, at 73, having almost no financial abilities to do what he wanted, to being very successful and able to achieve amazing things. So keep that in mind as well. Education is more valuable than money in the long run. When I offer this suggestion, I often hear in response, "Oh, that is too much hassle," or "I only want to do what I am interested in." If they say it's too much hassle, I ask, so you would rather work all your life giving 50% of what you earn to the government? If they tell me I only do what I'm interested in, I say, I'm not interested in going to the gym, but I go because I want to feel better and live longer. Unfortunately, there is some truth to the old statement, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Unless a person is used to changing, it's hard to change. Not impossible, but it takes a little bit more time to get somebody to change who is extremely set in their ways. But if the person decides for themselves that they want to change, then it is very possible to help them to change. But for those of you who might be on the fence when it comes to the idea of working to learn something new, I offer this word of encouragement. Life is much like going to the gym. The most painful part is deciding to go. Once you get past that, it's easy. There have been many days I have dreaded going to the gym, but once I am there and in motion, it is a pleasure. After the workout is over, I am always glad I talked myself into going. If you are unwilling to work to learn something new and instead insist on becoming highly specialized within your field, make sure the company you work for is unionized. Labor unions are designed to protect specialists. My educated dad, after falling from grace with the government, became the head of the teachers union in Hawaii. He told me that it was the hardest job he ever had. My rich dad, on the other hand, spent his life doing his best to keep his companies from becoming unionized. Because for the business owner, it's the opposite. A unionized workforce means that it's more difficult to get rid of workers who are sabotaging or who are the rotten apples, who are going to potentially cause the others to start fighting against the owner and causing troubles within that business. He was successful. Although the unions came close, Rich Dad was always able to fight them off. So a good mix there might be important because workers do need their rights. You don't want an employer being able to completely crush them and be bad for them. So you need an employer who's either has a heart and who understands the plight of the worker and adds that into the mix of being able to achieve the goals of the company, but at the same time being able to understand what the workers need. Or you need the union if you have a boss who is just result, and no heart. And if you are the owner of a business and you have heart, but your workers don't want to work for you because you're maybe too nice, then you definitely need no union so that you can actually get them to do the work that you need them to do. Personally, I take no sides because I can see the need for and the benefit of both sides. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. If you do as school recommends, become highly specialized, then seek union protection. For example, had I continued with my flying career, I would have sought a company that had a strong pilots union. Why? Because my life would be dedicated to learning a skill that was valuable in only one industry. If I was pushed out of that industry, my life skills would not be as valuable to another industry. At a place senior pilot with 100,000 hours of heavy airline transport time, earning $150,000 a year, would have a hard time finding an equivalent high-paying job teaching in school. Usually you'd have to start over again and work your way back up in a new industry, for example. Skills do not necessarily transfer from industry to industry. Skills the pilot are paid for in the airline industry are not as important in, say, the school system. The same is true even for doctors today. With all the changes in medicine, many medical specialists are needing to conform to medical organizations such as HMOs. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm assuming it's a kind of medical association. School teachers definitely need to be union members. Today in America, the teachers union is the largest and the richest labor union of all. The NEA, the National Education Association, has tremendous political clout. Teachers need the protection of their union because their skills are also of limited value to an industry outside of education. So the rule of thumb is highly specialized, then unionized. It's the smart thing to do. We will leave it at that one for today. I think there were lots of really great things for you to take away of that one. So make sure that you have a think about where you're at and realize that even if you're a little bit older, that there are always options and ways to be able to get things done. This book is a great book to be able to learn some of those skills and to start changing the way that you think, which is always extremely important. Now, I have to start getting ready for this presentation that I'm doing a little bit later. But if you'd like to watch more of these videos and read the rest of the book, you can go back and watch them in order from the beginning at the Passive Cash Flow Club on YouTube. So feel free to join us at the Passive Cash Flow Club. Make sure you hit subscribe. We have more videos coming up very soon, as well as obviously more readings. And you can read from the beginning through to whatever point you'd like to. And if you'd like to join Cashflow, which we've been talking about, which is how I met these girls who are going to be in a course with me for the next 5 weeks, which is extremely exciting. And we're starting today. I'm very excited about that, and watching them take all of this information and implement it and seeing how far they can get from where they are right now. And the fact that they are very lucky that they're starting at such a young age, then you can join us as well and turn your life around as well financially if you want to, by reaching out on Instagram. So first of all, you can see what I'm up to on Instagram. But if you want to know more about the cash flow, send me a personal message. I will be able to receive those personal messages and get my VA, my virtual assistant, to send you the details on how to come to cash flow. We will be playing in a week's time, and we will send you the information and would love to have you there, just like I appreciate you joining us today. So if you'd like to reach out on Instagram, then you can go to business_team_6_official. And then I would love to see you there. So business_team_6_official. Have a great day today. I am looking forward to getting to know more of you personally. So reach out, and I'm looking forward to sharing more in tomorrow's reading at 8 a.m.